Hey there guys, my name is Christian Heath.
And I'm Jimmy Denowden, and this is Light Tonight.
Let's go! Award-winning British laser specialists ER Productions staged the biggest display of lasers the world has ever seen in Milan for the launch of Samsung's Galaxy S7. Emerging from a giant multimedia cube formed of video, laser and light, lasers were mapped across the highest skyscrapers in the city. Meanwhile, on a purpose-built music stage, Fatboy Slim played a headline set. Over 10 tons of laser fixtures and an incredible 32 smoke machines were placed at various locations around the site, including parks, balconies and skyscraper rooftops. Because of the distances between city buildings and the main stage, which could be up to a kilometre as the crow flies, wireless ArtNet and fibre optics were relied upon to connect the effects of each location during the 12-minute show.
The gloriously gory, sleek, over-the-top musical American Psycho is playing at New York's Gerald Schoenfeld Theatre and features graphic sex acts, torturing, stabbing, slashing, the list goes on.
This is what being Patrick Bateman means to me.
It takes 5 workers to mop up the onstage blood at intermission. Scenic design is by S. Devlin, who offers new perspectives on depravity amid a frosty elegance. The set is flooded by Finros projections, creating a dynamic and multi-dimensional space. Combined with the lighting design of Justin Townsend, these creative elements deliver a 1980s look that is stunning. Now Jason, we have of course seen a lot of sort of top of the town, very large scale fixtures from Roby recently with things like the BMFL wash beam and so on. This is the Viva from Roby, and it sits not quite at the extreme other end of the spectrum, but certainly at a different part of town.
Yeah, very much, very different. This is a 270 watt white LED fixture, so like way smaller than the larger end of Roby's range.
And way smaller power consumption.
Yeah, this is one of the main advantages of this unit. They're claiming very low power consumption indeed. Now, it's got a lot of efficiencies going on. So this has got a zoom range of 8 degrees to 40 degrees, and 8 degrees, 5 meters, we've got just over 30,000 lux.
Cool.
Which is pretty impressive. Now, it's also got a lot less going on than the massive fixtures we've seen like this. So we've got 2 colour wheels, we've got a fixed and a rotating gobo, and we've got prism, iris and frost.
Yep.
Yeah, and it does what it does. It's going after easy to create simple effects that look great in the air or projected onto a cycle or something like that.
And I think with when your selection is sort of defined in such a way as it is in this fixture, it's quite easy to call up some good looks, even if you just pick a random colour and a random wheel. And of course, with the colour wheels, you can do split colours as you see here. You've got one wheel with very saturated colours, one wheel with pastels. Within the gobos, one rotating wheel, as you mentioned, and one wheel which is a stamped wheel, so you can rotate the wheel, but you can't rotate the gobos itself within the wheel. And that stamped wheel is becoming more popular. Interestingly, we've got the motion stability system, which we've seen on
EMS,
on the much other end of the Roby range. We've seen those on the BMFL. Look, I think this is a cute little fixture.
Yeah, and interestingly, they're claiming that the 20,000 hour life for the LED source won't need relamping for the life of the fixture.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because we've customarily sort of grown used to seeing 50,000 hours as a spec for LED sources, or 70% output at 50,000 hours. And I think the reality is, if you look at it, I sat down and did the calculation. I think it's 3.14 years is 20,000 hours, assuming you have it running all the time.
Yep.
Like you don't turn it off for Christmas or anything.
That's highly unlikely.
Yeah, no one's going to do that. Maybe short of a gallery or something like that. More realistic is maybe 8 hours a day, like in a nightclub or something. Assuming again you're running it every single night, that gets you a bit over 9 years, and that's longer than the lifespan of an LED product. This is going to be, just because of the nature of how fast LED is changing, this and every other fixture today is going to be obsolete before 9 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with that and the power efficiencies they're claiming, I think you're going to very much get your money back anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, look, I like the crispness of the Govo projection. I think they look great in the air or, projected onto something. I think it's easy to change between them. And, what it does well.
Yeah, agreed.
Beyoncé's Formation Tour features gigantic video imagery, fireworks, shooting flames, massive walls of light, a treadmill runway, masses of fierce dancers, and a lap pool. The Tate Towers built stage is dominated by an enormous, towering square structure of PRG Nocturne video that rotates and splits, plus a long platform out onto the stadium field so that the show literally projects up and out. Flanking the main stage area are an incredible 750 SGM Q7 color LED floodline strobe that really pack a punch. The award for the spectacle's most impressive staging goes to the giant lap pool that is set at the end of the stage's runway towards the end of the show. A barefoot Beyoncé emerges to sing while splashing around with her dancers. And whilst we're looking at stars getting wet, here's a gratuitous clip of Justin Bieber getting a drenching on his current tour.
The St. Petersburg Ladies Trophy International Women's Tennis Tournament featured a clever opening show that used free-format holographic projection screens. Having an almost transparent structure, the screens are practically invisible with the correct light settings. This allows the audience to enjoy the images and performance of dancers who interact with the projected content.
MGM Resorts' $375 million T-Mobile Arena opened in Las Vegas with a stellar performance by local act The Killers. Vegas favorites Blue Man Group, Cirque, Bally showgirls and Mr. Las Vegas himself, Wayne Newton, joined in the extravagant show. The 20,000-seat arena was filled with lights, video, pyro, confetti, balloons, and a huge count of lasers from Lightwave International. A pod of Ayrton magic dots patterned into the K-shaped logo of the Killers was surrounded by 6 rectangular video walls and flanked by 2 off-stage screens. Sharpies provided beams and Mac Vipers the stage wash.
MA Lighting presents the MA Network Switch, lighting networking made easy. Designed to simplify the setup and management of today's lighting networks, the MA Network Switch is backed by the industry-leading MA technical support team. Standard lighting terminology is used throughout, allowing most common lighting protocols to be filtered via a web interface designed specifically for lighting technicians. More information on the new MA Network Switch, as well as other MA Lighting products, can be found at malighting.com.
Well, this is, of course, the MH6 from Rush by Martin. Jason, tell us more.
Okay, what Martin have done here, they've basically taken the Rush Par 2 RGBW zoom and added a moving head. It's got 12 10-watt RGBW LEDs and a zoom range of 10 to 60.
And that's pretty much it. It's a very, very simple sort of straightforward feature set. And I like that in the sense that you're not going to get wound up hopelessly overcomplicated and time poor trying to program effects, because there's only a certain number of things you can do with one of these.
It's a wash.
And look, the reality is there's not a lot you can do with one of these, but with a dozen or 20 or 30, there's a lot more you can do. And because they're so affordable, I think that the prospect of actually being able to use these in greater quantities is a realistic one.
Yeah, so it purports to have similar optics to the Mac Aura that we all know and love.
Yeah, well, if you look at the lens, there's definitely some similarities
and
there.
I do like the optics. It's good looking, but it's got a 2,000 lumen output. So, but a lot smaller, a lot cheaper. But a lot of applications don't need the kind of output that a Mac Aura has got. I can see this a lot in corporate or smaller events. And it'll be great for that, and especially because you can put so many more.
On how quiet it was too.
Yeah, that surprises me in a fixture down the more affordable range of things. It's a lot quieter than a lot of more expensive things that we've had on the test bench in the past.
Yeah, I mean we've got it doing a bit of basic movement here now, and it's only actually when we get it really slow that we can even hear it.
And especially considering that the Rush range sort of purports to be ideal for nightclubs, where you'd never ever you'd never hear anything anyway. It's quite surprising. But I mean, you were saying you can see these going out on sort of some of the bigger shows because of the sheer quantity of them.
Put a ton of these on stage. I think it'd look great.
Yeah, okay.
And easy to do too. We got PowerCon in and loop and 3 and 5 pin XLR for DMX. So look, easy to deploy, easy to program. Easy to pack up and carry out of the venue at the end of the night. I think this is a winner.
Yeah, especially considering they're easy to pay for as well.
That too. The Sahara tent, Coachella's home for electronic music, was a massive cubic delight courtesy of AG Production Services. The design was led by AG Production Services' Keen de Puiseler and Andrew Gumper, who worked to transform the mega structure enclosure into an intimate setting using 3D squares and cubes built with truss, video panels and edged with lighting fixtures. 9 cube-shaped pods of truss moved over the audience. Like a giant Rubik's Cube, the set was adaptable to different acts and the entire lighting package used 57 universes for control.
Going shopping for furniture? Then of course you need an indoor rope course complete with zip lines and an automated water display. Massachusetts-based Jordan's Furniture is known for adding its own entertainment twist to the traditional furniture store experience, and their latest store is no different. Claire Solutions lighting designer Michelle Caron regarded the space and ropes course structure as more of a sculpture than as architecture or a traditional stage. The many different surfaces throughout the space all had to look great under light, and balancing light levels was very important. The water show looked best under very low light conditions. However, having customers climbing, jumping, and sipping high in the air at all times meant the room could not go dark. To prepare for this, every light fixture location was chosen to keep the light away from the water tank and to carefully control colors and intensities when the water show ran.
Planet Shakers Church held their Awakening Conference over 4 days at Melbourne's Hisense Arena. The theme was Overflow, with lighting designer Paul Collison taking up that theme with spectacular results. Paul had the inspiration of a massive wave encompassing both stage and audience, and he achieved this by creating huge fingers of truss that reached out from upstage centre over the audience, stretching out as far as 72 metres over front of house. Paul notes that using the Grand MA2 enabled a potentially very complicated setup to work quickly and seamlessly. After doing the initial designs in Vectorworks, the fixture data was ported to the MA show file via the Grand MA2 plugin. After a few tidy-ups, the show was ready for some pre-programming in MA 3D.
Here for Shelby Professional with the very talented Steve Lieberman, production designer at Ultra Music Festival 2016. And we're here behind the scenes to talk to him a little bit about the rig that we got going on at the Worldwide Stage.
Welcome back. We're at Ultra 2016 in the Worldwide Stage. What we've done over here this year, we've had the same structure for the same couple years. And what we do here, because it's such a narrow chute and the crowd seems to, move up towards the grass hill over here, and then we close off Biscayne Boulevard every year and they come out here. What we do is we bend the rig around. So no matter where you are on the stage, whether you're in the middle of the chute or you're off to the side, you get a perspective of what's going on the stage.
And roughly, can you say how many fixtures are here on the stage today?
I'd have to look at my plot to tell you, but yeah, I mean, between those 40 of your NXTs, there's probably 60 strobe lights, there's 100 of those little wash lights, 300 movers over here.
Tell us a little bit about the design of the stage today.
There's a lot of tools in the toolbox this year, from profile fixtures, beam fixtures, wash fixtures, and then one of the the big highlights this year is we're using Chauvet's NXT1. From the height that we've got it, which is probably 40-something feet up in the air, you really see these definitive beams of light that spill color all over the floor, but you see these shafts coming down. So we were looking something to kind of like spray, what I like to refer to as like the fingers of God coming out. And we get the pixel control, so you get all these really dynamic effects. Additionally, we also run it into LED software, like we use Madrix on top of it, so we can do really, really cool displays on it that you can't do with typical DMX programming. Just a very creative environment. So it allows us a lot of freedom and flexibility for both the festival LD and any of the visiting LDs to come in.
You can control the environment that you create with the lighting aspect.
Sure.
What is that environment that you're trying to create?
It's variable. It's based on what's going on. It's an organic environment. So it's based on the music, it's based on the crowd, and it's an energy. So when you're standing at the desk, it really is dependent on what's going on. If the music is a slow tempo, the lights reflect what's going on. If the music is picking up and going crazy, that the lighting needs to reflect what's happening both between the crowd, the DJ, artist on stage, and the visual package. So all of those things tie together. So it's not a scripted environment.
How does it feel when you're finally able to see your vision come to life?
It's a fantastic feeling. When the show finally gets going and you're walking out to front of house to your console and about to take control of your desk to run your show after however many months that you've worked on it, it's exhilarating knowing that you're about to really like do what all this planning was meant for.
And why is it that you continuously or come back to using Chauvet fixtures?
So Chauvet has delivered some products for me that have really been exceptional. Last year we used the 7x7s and we did a huge display of those. And same thing, like with the white light incandescent LED and the dynamic chasing that we did, running Madrix through that as well. It was fantastic. I mean, and we've used them show after show after that. So we're gonna go through the same procedure here with an NXT1s.
And what is your favorite part about production design?
Being able to have the gift of producing creative environments. I mean, it's a fantastic job. It's been 25 years of struggling to get to this place, and I feel like it's still a struggle, but I feel blessed and grateful to be a part of it. And I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to like come up with something in their mind, put it on paper, and then come and build it for an audience of 50,000 people? You know,
doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Thanks very much for watching this episode of Light Tonight, and don't forget, please subscribe.
And if you enjoyed the episode, share it with your friends as well. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.